Hey guys, Bryan here from Liquid Concepts. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to get better at hydrographics. So we've got a quick little list that we've got together. So let's get started and show you guys what you can do to get better at hydrodipping. All right, so number one, use tape when necessary, but don't use it when you don't have to. Whenever you've got your film, you'd always need to make sure that it's easy to get it into the water. Now, sometimes whenever you're using that, your film may look like this, where it has tons of wrinkles and it really doesn't have a lot of rigidity to it. So using a film like this, whenever you try to cut it, like this right here, and you go to pick it up, it literally just folds over just like that, and you can't get it to lay out. So then of course in that case, using the tape is definitely necessary because it helps give the film rigidity and it makes it a lot easier whenever you're picking it up, putting it into the water. Now, if you store your film correctly, then it should not come out like this, because a film like this has been around too much humidity or it's been sitting out for too long, and therefore it makes it really limp and also really hard to handle. Doesn't mean that it's not usable, it's just very hard to handle. So we can put that away. So now that we have this other film right here, this film has not been in the humidity and it's been kept in a climate controlled area. So we can roll this out and we can easily see that this does not look anywhere near like what that does right there. Also too, whenever we go to pick this up, even on a larger piece like this right here, I can easily pick this up just like this, and the film has a lot more rigidity to it. So now I'm actually saving more material because I don't need to use any tape anymore. So if you store it correctly, then you don't need to use tape, which will also definitely help whenever you are picking it up, laying it in the water, and trying to get it from point A to point B. So the tip number two, try to keep a logbook if you can. So every film is always going to be a little bit different whenever you're laying it down in the water and whenever you're using each film. So one thing that a lot of people will do is they will actually keep a logbook. So whenever they lay the film down in the water, they will have an Excel spreadsheet or a logbook of some way that tells them this film sat for 90 seconds on the water or 60 seconds on the water, and then they have all that data to show them what worked that one time. And then whenever they use that again, if it's not a film that they use quite a bit, they can come back to it and know exactly what to do whenever they get back to another job that uses that exact same film. So if you have a film that needs, say, 2 passes of activator across it, or maybe 1 slow pass across it. So that way, whenever you're spraying the film, you know exactly what you need to do before you lay that down in the water, and you'll have all of your settings correct. And it could be your water temperature, your time on the water, maybe even your dwell time after the activator was applied, or any notes. Those are always really critical whenever you're using vastly different films from all different kinds of manufacturers. That definitely helps out quite a bit. Tip number 3, always try to keep everything organized as much as possible. This is definitely going to help you in making sure that whenever you're doing multiple jobs at one time, especially like guns or things like that, you always keep those parts organized, so then that way everybody gets the right parts back to the right person that owns them, or to the right person, just to the right person. There, leave it at that. Yeah. So as you can tell, we have tons of hooks of all different sizes, shapes, everything like that. We always try to make sure that we have the correct hook for the right product that we're hanging or trying to fixture up. Always make sure whenever you're hanging your hooks that you always write down the name of the customer, the job, maybe even a job number or name or something like that. So then that way, whenever you're doing all of these hooks and you're hanging up all the pieces, that all of them are labeled correctly and they have the name, the number, what they may go on a base color, as well as what you're even dipping those in. And you could even go so far as what clear coat do they get. Now again, that's a lot just on a little hook like this, but it definitely helps keep everything organized. So then that way, whenever you are finished and you're done spraying, everything goes right back to the right customer exactly how they wanted it. So tip number 4, make sure you have good lighting wherever you're doing the hydrographics. I cannot stress this enough. Whenever you're spraying the hydrographics, especially the activator, you have to make sure that you can really see and get that activator dialed in for correct activation. By doing that, you have to have really good lighting. So whenever you're spraying, wherever it's at, always make sure that you have some type of lighting that is really bright and really shows exactly what you need to see whenever you're spraying that activator. So tip number 5, always make sure that you're using good quality products whenever you're doing any of these jobs. Especially in the hydrographics, there's always going to be cheaper products and there's always going to be more expensive products. Whenever you're doing the hydrographics, you definitely want to make sure that you have a good quality product and something that you can really put your name on. Whenever you're using products like that, that's going to make your jobs last a lot longer, be a lot more durable, and you're going to have a lot better results overall throughout the entire life of the coating, as well as whenever you're processing the coating itself. And also, another bonus tip for you guys, always make sure that your film is stored in a climate controlled area. Whenever you do that, you greatly extend the life of the film, as well as you don't have the issues like we did in number 1, where the film is wanting to droop down and it doesn't have any rigidity to it. So trying to keep that in a climate controlled area inside your house or in a room that is climate controlled is always going to be far better, and it's going to give you better results for the film and longevity of the film that you're using. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. As always, if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you subscribe to our weekly tips and tricks on anything hydrographics related. As well as if you have any other comments or any questions, definitely leave them below. We'd love to hear from you. As well as if you feel like we have left out anything that you definitely feel like needs to be in that video, leave us a comment on that. We'd love to hear about that as well. Also, if you guys are interested, definitely check out the website. It has everything for hydrographics. So from your paint to your clears to primers to film and supplies, as well as training for the hydrographics, which we do on a regular basis. If you're interested in that, it has all the information there on the website. I'm Bryan from Liquid Concepts, and this is how we customize your world. We'll see you guys next time.